Count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just in case it isn't entirely clear. Just in case it isn't entirely clear what's going on here. So there's where the red reel has ended. So red reel has just hit that cushion. I'm in the way of it, unfortunately. But you can just see the top of the red reel there, just over my shoulder. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that happens in the same time as the double mast reel reaches the halfway point. And this is the starting point that they both set out at. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So start, end and halfway. Hopefully that's clear. And I'll repeat this 2 or 3 times. Very tricky holding it back because it's a lot of pressure. So I've got to let go and count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah!
Count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah!
And you see where they ended up. I might get out of the way. So, might not be quite bob on, but it was pretty. I might not have stopped it exactly right. It should have been there perhaps, because I'll give it another go. But so now you know what you're looking for. So that's the starting position. The camera got that. So that's the starting position. Push it up against the cushion. Hold it there, and then the other one's a bit more tricky because I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. I better do that again. I wasn't really. You mean you feel like you aren't in control because it's all happening too fast. It's alright when you were just watching it on a video. Round the fucker has got to make this shit work and make it do something. Here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the heavy one was a bit past halfway, wasn't it, when that one hit the barrier? So yes, so that needs to go a bit faster, doesn't it, the light one? It's still not quite at velocity 2, is it? So at the moment this heavy one's got slightly more momentum. This was only intended to be a rehearsal, but in the end I thought, well, it's not going to get any better if I keep repeating it over and over again. I'm not going to get the results any better, I don't think. Are you ready now? Are you ready now? That was a bit shit, wasn't it? I'll give it one more go. Well, when I do it with the fast one, that might be shit as well. I don't know, do I? But that really was fucking shit, wasn't it? Let me line them up again. I've got to be honest, I was expecting to be a bit better than that. 1, 2, 3. Not very impressive, is it? But then again, like I say, the other one might not be very impressive, so let's take the heavy one up. Now, I've got to be careful that doesn't fall out, but can you see, we've got a solid copper insert. It's very fucking heavy, that is. Before I double its velocity, I'm just going to use the same pressure, but on the lighter weight, where it's supposed to now go 1.4 times faster. Same energy, so it's being pushed with the same force. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm dreading it. I don't know what to think of that. It's not knocking any down, is it? It tickled past 4 of them. Oh, hang on. No, that wasn't a fair test. Just realised why this isn't a fair test. My mistake, hands up, dropping a clanger. The width of the reel I put down there, it's got 2 extra flanges on. Now they're only thin, but it's enough to make a difference. So I need to move the bottles out to compensate for the extra flange, don't I? Get my glasses on so I can actually measure this. That'd be too much. So scrap the previous run, that wasn't a fair run. This should be a more honest run, so here we go again then. So again, this will have the same energy according to the theory. It'll be going 1.414 times faster. Here we go, ready? Pretty close, give it another go. It's not a science laboratory, it's just me at home just doing my best. Go to. See, it's on a par, isn't it, with the other one, the heavy one. So it does look like same-ish energy as the previous one. It's going 1.4 times faster, pushed by the same weight. Half mass, 1.4 times faster, same kinetic energy, does the same damage by the looks of things, in keeping with the formula as I understand it. I confess it's a limited understanding. I'm reliant on people like Mindless Marbles, William 1986, Pedro, anybody else who's able to help me understand the mathematical aspect. Don't hold out too much hope with mathematics and me. Me and numbers don't get on too brilliantly. I'm doing my best. It is actually an interesting experiment, really. How many other people are bothering to do this? How many other people are even bothering to do this? Okay, here we go. Well, that was actually quite interesting, wasn't it? That was actually quite interesting, I must admit. And that was better than I expected. So it did do like 1, 2, 3, 4, a bit more besides, really, didn't it? And that wasn't even quite double the velocity, was it? I'm quite impressed that actually worked. That was better than I was expecting. Gotta be honest, I'm quite pleased with that from a point of view of proving Gary shit for brains wrong. Well, not proving he's wrong, but you know what I mean? It's a strong indication. It's evidence against his crappy guesswork theory, isn't it? Because it is doing approximately, as far as I can determine, it's doing approximately twice as much damage, isn't it? Didn't get to the 6th one, but in fairness, it knocked the first 2 down, and the other one didn't knock any down at all, did it? Just moved them out of the way. Is this where Gary's going to start moaning like a schoolgirl, saying, it's just the same as the clay experiment? So I think it's sufficient to say that Gary needs to now cough up and pay for the experiment that he's been promising to pay for about 2 or 3 months. He said he was going to commission a proper experiment using properly engineered parts, and that whoever was wrong would fund it. Well, I think he should fund it now. I funded this one. I funded all the previous experiments. I funded all his radar experiments. I funded all his sound experiments. I funded all his polarization experiments. I funded all his slit experiments. I've even sent him slits that he's forgotten he's got. I think it's time Gary funded at least something. He promised $50 for someone who could show this kind of evidence. I've shown him this kind of evidence several times over now, and he still hasn't coughed up $50. I don't think he's ever going to cough up $50. He says he never welches on a deal. Well, I don't believe him. I think he will simply wriggle and wriggle, pretend the evidence isn't there, just to avoid paying to someone he doesn't like. Well, give the money to charity then if you don't like me. I don't particularly want Gary's money. I just don't want to see the guy getting off scot-free with lying what he intends to do. The only time he wants to put his money where his mouth is when he's got a rigged experiment. The one where he conveniently then forgets about the so-called excess friction of the heavy mass object. Suddenly the friction doesn't matter then, does it? Because he's a lying, cheating scoundrel, as I've said before and will keep saying, because he is. Be very cautious of Gary. I wouldn't buy a raffle ticket from him. Is this where Gary's going to start moaning like a schoolgirl, saying, it's just the same as the clay experiment? Because he keeps blaming everything on clay experiments, doesn't he? When I was using it to shift other things, always relying on friction. See, an experiment I've not actually showed you yet. These copper things, these are beautiful engineered pieces of, that's the double weight, kilo, and that's the half kilo. Rolling those along similar tracks, but on the small table here you can't see. Compressing springs and also moving these aircraft grade springs. Very strong springs though, so they take a lot of compression, they do. But I also tried, just out of interest, moving my mobile phone. I've got a few of these and they weigh 89 grams each. Sure enough, it moved repeatedly. The lightest object going twice as fast, that one going twice as fast. Moved the mobile phone twice as far, almost exactly, and it was quite uncanny, isn't it? It's quite fascinating to see, really. The guy says, no better than the clay experiment, like when I did it when I was using it to move staples. Well, it wasn't me who said, check how much it moves anything. It was Gary who said that. It's only Gary who's backtracking now. Now he's realised the claims he made backfired on him because the claims he made are false. He said, it doesn't matter what you put in front of these things, no matter what you try and make them move, marbles or anything, see how much anything they move. Those were his exact words, see how much anything they move. His claim was that that kilo weight at half speed would move exactly the same amount as this half kilo weight at double speed. And it didn't. That moved twice the amount, twice the weight, twice the distance. Of course he's going to have excuses. He's just got an endless list of excuses, hasn't he? But anyway, I'm impressed with that for now. Now I'm just gonna, because I'm tired, it's 3 in the morning. I'm kind of pissed off having to bother doing this really, so I think I'll jack in. I've given them all 2 goes, haven't I? I've been fair.